City Power's court interdict against the Hawks is currently being heard in the High Court in Johannesburg. The utility lodged that interdict following the Hawks search and seizure operation at its offices last week. City Power claims that the operation was unlawful. It's being reportedly linked to an alleged irregular 67 million rand tender for transformers. SABC News reporter Dludla is tracking that story and joins us now live outside the courtroom itself. And Calvin, take us up to speed or bring us up to speed with what's taken place so far.
Good morning again, Ayanda, and to our SABC viewers at home. You would remember on our earlier crossing, I did indicate that we had to submit some documents here and be able to locate a courtroom. That is what we did. We spoke to Judge Yakub and we submitted our documents. And then we also engaged with Isaac Mangena. You remember I told you that we are waiting for him. He did confirm that he's coming here. The case is between the Hawks and the City Power. You would remember that this is an urgent interdict by City Power. But Mr. Mangena, the spokesperson, is here with me. Mr. Mangena, thank you very much for your time. Our colleague Ayanda Nyati was just reading an intro explaining to our viewers why you are here, but that was brief. For our viewers' sake now, can you elaborate more on why you find yourself in court?
Thank you very much for having us. So City Power is here today to basically, following an interdict that we put against the Hawks and the conduct of the Hawks during their visits to City Power's offices twice this year already. This is basically on the case that the Hawks are looking into at City Power. The case that actually started in November 2024. In which they've basically received some information from whistleblowers about possible corruption at City Power. So we basically have been cooperating with the Hawks at that time so that they can basically be able to be assisted to do their own job. But we decided to come to do the interdict because of the manner in which the so-called warrants that they said they had against City Power were executed. So they came to City Power in August to basically try to say they want to get certain information, and we did comply with that. We gave them that information even though they did not have a warrant at that time. And then second time they came on the 17th of September when they got the warrant. They also did the very same thing, and this time also it was different people that came through, not the people that we were working with who started the investigation. So we decided to come here so that we can basically get to understand exactly what they are looking for, get the judge to set the parameters of exactly what they can basically be able to retrieve from City Power and how they are going to use it. So part A is basically to challenge the validity of their warrants, and then part B is about completely halting the execution of those warrants. And I want to reiterate that this should not be seen as City Power trying to avoid accountability or being investigated. In fact, if anything, we want to get this matter to be resolved as quickly as possible, because the way it has been executed, it is really bordering on humiliation and embarrassment to the City Power brand, but also to the leadership of City Power. So what we're asking is that they should complete this investigation. It's been almost a year now that they were sitting on this. They can find any fault that they can find and be able to arrest if they have to arrest. If there are any findings that they're getting, then they can come back to this court and say, we've got the suspects and this is what we're working on, and please make sure that you send these people to jail.
What items were confiscated by the Hawks?
I can't indicate what they confiscated, because when they invite the media to come to City Power, they say they're coming to raid and search and seizure, and that on its own, it basically suggests that someone is coming there to take computers, documents, files, and all of those kind of things. And unfortunately, those things were never taken. So they came on the last visit. They said they're coming to take the laptops. When they invited the media, some of the messages that we saw where they sent the media messages to say, come set up the stage outside City Power, we are going to do a raid. They did not take any laptop, and the laptops were there, and we asked them, are you going to take these laptops and go and check them, as you have said in public that this is what you're going to do? They did not basically, were not interested in those laptops. They said to us that you can bring them to our offices if there is a need next week on Friday, 5 days later. So if there was any agency in retrieving any information, why give me 5 days to go through the very same laptop and be able to delete some of these things? So those are some of the things that we really are not comfortable with in terms of the conduct of the Hawks, and we're hoping, and our teams are ready to ensure that they deal with this matter, they defend this matter, and we basically work properly based on the processes, and we defend the principle that we believe is correct.
Let's talk about this 67 million tender for transformers that you allegedly bought. You don't seem to be on the same page with them as to how many transformers were bought with an amount of 67 million rands.
I don't want to go deep into the issues that they claim to have. If you look at some of the matters, and that's where our problem is, they based some of their investigations on News 24 articles, and those News 24 articles have not been tested. There are responses that have been given to News 24 that were not considered in the stories, and we're having a problem with the Hawks basing their investigation on purely on what we believe is a lie. There is nothing about the 67 million. The story, if I remember well, it claims that we used 67 million and we only bought one transformer. That is not true, and we've got evidence to that effect, evidence that we have already sent to the Hawks. Remember I said when they started with this investigation in November 2024, there was certain information that they requested from City Power, and we managed to basically give them that information, and we believe that these other new visits that they've made are really just to embarrass City Power, and that's why we basically are asking the court to challenge the validity of those warrants, and we're also asking for the halting of the execution of that warrant. But the court will be the ones that will basically determine all of these things, and we will challenge the Hawks inside court in front of the judge so that they can prove some of these allegations that they've been making in public, that they've been feeding to the media, including News 24, so that we can actually clear ourselves. And we still invite them to say, if there is any wrongdoing, please come to City Power so that we can assist you. You can easily just write an email. We will basically give you further information about what we have already given them in the past, and if there are any computers that they are looking for, our computers are ready to be taken by the Hawks, but they left them on the last visit.
Can you confirm if the tender document in question is amongst the items that were confiscated?
So they came to City Power on the last visit, you mean? So on the last visit, they came to City Power claiming that they want to look into 2 contracts. We then said you can access our servers if you want to access our servers. We called our IT technician, senior IT technician, to assist them so that they can actually be able to do their work properly. The IT technician opened up the servers and started assisting them in terms of retrieving information on those 2 tenders. They downloaded information on one tender, and the IT technician asked them if they would want to access the other information about the other tender. They said no, we are fine, and then they left. They did not take anything else. They did not take any laptops, no computers, no electronic equipment, as they said when they told the media that they are coming to raid and take electronic equipment based citing Cyber Crimes Act as one of the enabling acts that will assist them in terms of retrieving those things. There's nothing else that they took. They only took one contract, and we are ready to give them clarity in terms of that contract so that we can assist them in their investigation.
You are saying they've got nothing against you as City Power, and one would say there's no smoke with that fire. Why did they choose you?
The smoke can be a cigarette with water from the rain, basically. That does not mean that there will be fire. With this one, we really are confident, and we are not going to stand here and come and drag the Hawks to before the magistrate if we are not confident with our story. So as I mentioned, when the investigation started, we were happy that if there is any fault, it will assist City Power to ensure that at least we clean our books even going forward. We've opened our doors for the Hawks. We've given them information. We've opened our doors to the AG, Auditor General. We've given them information. We've opened our doors to the Treasury, by the way. Some of the investigations that they made against City Power, all of that has actually been able to assist us in terms of tightening our controls and processes and be able to basically ensure that we deal with the corruption that we often would be dealing with within City Power. So as things stand, we don't think there's anything that they actually have against City Power, the City Power CEO, City Power executives, or any person. If there is, we challenge them to basically bring this matter to court. They've been telling journalists that the arrests are imminent. If you've got anything against Isaac Mangena, you would have arrested him already. And that's our belief. And that's why we say if they can just wrap up this investigation, tell us whether we are guilty or not, arrest. If they don't have to arrest, then we will basically be able to continue properly with our operations. Currently, their conduct is actually disrupting those operations.
Thank you very much. Let's miss insight in here what Judge Jacob says on this matter. Thank you very much. That was Mr. Isaac Mangena, the spokesperson of the City Power, explaining to SABC why we are here, saying that the Hawks have got nothing against them. Back to you in studio.